as a society, we seem to think that we're kind of better than the US.
In America, it's just, I don't know, they really like clung on to segregation. That's why it's such a messed up country.
I'd say it's more subtly racist. It's more like entrenched within our culture and society.
I would say, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, and what I've seen in America, because I've got a lot of family live in America, the US is a lot more racist than the UK. And also their history as well of slavery and all that sort of stuff, which was more so with like the KKK and all that sort of stuff.
What's just happened recently, I'd say the police force seem to have more problems because they're more militant.
It's less race in the US. Yeah. I think they're miles behind the UK, miles behind.
Like there's definitely some racism going on, but it's probably like behind closed doors.
More or less.
As a society, we seem to think that we're kind of better than the US. I think coronavirus has been a pretty good example just to show how bad racism in the UK is. And BAME groups are more likely to die from corona. I think obviously their history of slavery is different to ours as well. And that ends up maybe having an effect where it's more open and kind of just normalised to be really overtly racist, essentially.
It's hard to say. They are very racist, but they're just a lot more open about it.
Yeah.
Than the UK.
Yeah.
I think that the US has many more problems in terms of like white supremacy, police corruption than we do, but it's definitely still like prevalent here, and we do need to look at corruption in like our police.
Police officers have guns in America, so people get shot. If police officers had guns here, I'm sure we have the same sort of thing going on.
I think it's more inherent, more deep within the US than it is here.
Lots of friends who've told me that like when they've come to the UK, they were not looked at because they were wearing like the hijab or stuff like that.
On the surface, it does seem that America's a lot more like forceful, but that doesn't absolutely mean to say that in the UK there's not that sort of more, even more like social, do you know what I mean, like racism.
And I feel like in America, it's just, I don't know, they really like clung on to segregation for a long time. They were like, this is the way it is, and we're not gonna like get rid of it. And that's why it's such a messed up country.
Yeah.
It's because a lot of them do want things to be like it was way back when. But it's not even way back when. It wasn't even that long ago.
It's more in your face here. It's like we are racist. There is racism. Whilst we're here, we're not. As a British Empire, we forget what they've done in their own past. So they're kind of like oblivious to that, and they're just pointing the finger at USA. But they're quite guilty as well. England within their colonisation and everything.
I'd say the racism over there is a lot more, from what I can see, brutal. I just hear and read things in the news about the US and it sounds a bit more extreme, but then again it does happen over here as well.
I think racism takes form in so many different ways, whether that's violent or whether that's through people's actions. We definitely have like similar problems for sure, but I think to compare our situations is wrong. Each person that's struggling with like issues has their own story, and to kind of compare that isn't fair, I guess.
Especially with the movement of Brexit, like people have definitely took advantage of people kind of having those sort of discriminatory thoughts, and they kind of like cultivate it.
So if your house gets burgled, you're going to call the police, you know what I mean? If someone gets attacked, you're supposed to call the police, stuff like that. Unfortunately, in America, you have a situation where people are scared to probably use the police, so they almost become a gang in themselves, but they become a gang who can actually hide behind the law, so they almost become one of the most dangerous gangs in the world. So if there's racists infiltrating the police in America, then it becomes almost a hopeless situation. That's why you're having so many protests at the moment. It's not just this one incident. This incident just got caught on camera. You hear about incidents all the time, and the scary thing is how many incidents have there been where it has been caught on camera.